So, do you have any question for me based on our yesterday's session? Any roadblock? Any concern before I proceed? Okay. So, I think I sent you guys like a document, a Word document, and an attachment like a couple of minutes ago, thereabout. So all the queries in the attachment are executable query. If you run it, it's going to run. But we're going to practicalize that in the class today. And I'm going to walk you through how to create a simple store procedure and an advanced storage procedure. So to start with, let me pull this up. So basically, the store procedure always use a data manipulation language. What is a data manipulation language? When I was, I think that should be last week, I think I explained something about the DML, the DCM, the DDL, and the likes in one of our classes last week. So basically, the store procedure used the DML for editing and modifying stored queries. So as you can see, the data manipulation language, the DML, is used for editing data. And the data definition language, the DDL, is for structuring data. So based on the curriculum of this SQL class, the first part we're going to treat is the store procedure, and afterwards then we'll move to the function. And also we have the data control language, the DCL, for administering the database. So what is a data manipulation language? It is a component of the SQL statement that controls access to data and to the database. I will show you how that works today. And basically the DCL statements are grouped with DML statement. List of DML commands are insert. It is used to insert data into a table. I will show you how to do that today as well. And the update is used to update existing data within a table. So what is a store procedure? A store procedure in SQL is a group of SQL statements that are stored together in a database based on the statement in the procedure and the parameter you pass. I will show you how to pass parameter as well. It can perform one or multiple DML operation on the database and return value, if any. Thus, it allows you to pass the same statement multiple times, thereby enabling reusability. So basically, the main reason why we write store procedure is simply because we want to call it maybe in a particular line of code or as a subquery in our query. So I will show you how to use the store procedure in SQL today. So to start with, does anyone have issue with the inner join, the right join, the left join, the right outer join, or the left outer join? I want to believe everyone that attended yesterday class should be comfortable with that now. But if you have any question, let me know before I proceed. Then if not, so let's proceed. I want to believe by now we should be comfortable with the tables inside our database AdventureWorks 2019. So let's take a look at the query we have in our Word document. So this query is using the rate and the pay frequency from our human resources employee pay history, right? So let's create our Foxstar simple store procedure. Today's class is going to be very simple. Just for the sake of those that missed yesterday class, I want you guys to go back to the video, watch the video if you have any question before I will move to the advanced stage. So today, I'm going to keep today's class to be very short and to be very simple. so that by the time we start writing the advanced SQL queries, you guys won't be like, this looks so like too complex or looks like a jargons to you. So today's class, I'm going to move at a very slow pace so that you guys can ask questions, so that by the time you go back to yesterday's class, then you should be able to have a better understanding of it. Because yesterday's class and today's class is what we're going to use. It's going to be based on our, like, a prerequisite to our future classes. So let's go into the human resources employee pay history table, and let's go and do a little investigation. So if I expand this table, then I will look at the human resources employee pay history. So let's expand the columns. So if you expand the column, you can see that we have the column name, the type, if it is a primary key or foreign key, and the data type. The data type for the business entity ID is an int, which is integer. The rate change date is date time, the data type. And for the rate, the data type is money. For pay frequency, the data type is tiny int, that's small int, something like that. And the modified date is daytime. So for us to write our first top procedures, let's click on the new query. And before we do that, let's do something. Right-click on the human resources.employee pay history table and select the top 1,000 row, because I will need some particular value for the rate to pass as my parameter into the store procedure. So let's go back to our new query. And the first syntax is going to be create procedure. Ensure that you write it correctly. The spelling must be correct. Create procedure and give it a name. I can name it to be create procedure Alex. Then I'll do enter. Then I will declare the parameters that I want to pass into my procedure. So for instance, I want to pass the rate and the pay frequency parameter. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do at rate. Then I'll insert the data type. The data type is money. Then I will do comma. Then I will do at. Then I will do the pay frequency. And the data type for the pay frequency is what? Tiny int. Tiny int. And you can see that the data type is changed to color blue, right? So the data type for the rate is money, changes to blue, and this also changed to blue for the pay frequency. Then we'll do as. Then I will now select all using the star from the table that I'm using. Let's use from the human resources dot employee pay history. Then I will do go. So the create procedure have to have a name. I gave it a name of Alex. Then I pass the parameter from the table that I want to pass into my store procedure. Then I said select all the column name in this table. Do you have any questions before I proceed? The store procedure will have a name. The parameter I want to pass will be at that parameter and its data type, comma, at that parameter and its data type, as select all the column from this table name. So let's do execute. Can you see it say command completed successfully at this time, right? So the next thing for us to do is that we've created this store procedure. Let's go back to our table. So I'm going to close this up. If you come here, if you open these let's see, let me close this up. So if you open the system table, no, okay, sorry, okay. So the stop procedure is always located at the programmability. I think in one of our classes, I told you guys that you always find your stop procedure under this programmability. So let's expand this folder. Can you see this? We have the stop procedure. Let's expand this. So do we have the Alex there? It should be dbo.alex. If it doesn't appear, what you do is that you select that folder, then you do a right click and you refresh it. You can see now we have Alex, right? Since this store procedure has been saved in our store procedure, the next thing for us to do is that I want to execute Alex to see if there is any value in my store procedure. So that I'll do, and you say by default, the IntelliSense pop up the Alex, right? So I'll select the Alex, I'll do a tab. So if, okay, let me do something. If I run this, it's gonna return an error. Can you see? It says procedure of function Alex expect parameter rate which was not supplied. So to fix that, I'm going to do execute Alex at rate equals. So let's see something. So you can see that one of the rates in the rate table, one of the value for the rate is what? 125.5. And for the value for the pay frequency is what? Is 2. So I want to pass the value of this 125.5 and 2 into our execute query before we to run. So let's do 125.5 and the pay history. Then we'll do comma the pay, sorry, at pay frequency. Okay, pay frequency equals 2. So I'm going to highlight all this and I'm going to run it. Probably run this. Okay. So let me show you another method to run this. If you right click on Alex and let's hit on modify. If you hit on modify, let's wait for it. I can pass the value from here. And let me show you another method to let's hit execute stop procedure. Can you see it says we should supply what? The value. So you can assign the value here to be 125.5 and we can insert this to be 2. So if we click on the OK, can you see? It returned what? It returned 1. Can you see it highlighted this? The first row column. This has 1, 2, 5, and 2. So that is how to write a simple store procedure. Do you have any question? You can see it's pretty very easy. So if you want to, whenever you want to edit your procedure, you just have to click on this. You can see modify, execute store procedure. If you want to refresh, if you want to report, and if you want to do like a policy, and you want to check the script. At times, if the store procedure is returning an error, we can do the troubleshooting from the side. Or if you want to drop and create something, but for now, let's just leave that. Do you have any question before I write the second procedure? Any question, any doubt? Is it difficult? So what I did is pretty very simple. We have these Adventure 2019 Human Resources Employee Pay History Table. So what I did was that I passed this rate column and this pay frequency column to the store procedure that I created. And by so doing, I was able to specify the data type for each of the column. For rate is money, and for the pay frequency is tiny int. And after running it, I passed the value of 125.5 for the rate and the pay frequency to be 2, just for me to output this. You can see this was selected by default. So this is the answer. So let's proceed to the next one. So the next one is.
Excuse me, please.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Mr. Biodu,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to catch up with this. I see what you've done there. But you say you passed the value of 125.5. How do you mean by that? Does it mean that you are looking at the value that are lesser than 125.5, below 125.5?
Okay, so let me show you something again.
Okay, thank you.
Select all from this table. I'm selecting all the columns from this table, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the table, right? The table name is what? Human Resources.employee pay history. So if I return all the column in this table, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But I just want to see, I want to pass the parameter of the rate. I want to supply the rate. If I didn't supply the parameter into this rate value, the rate value of 1 to 5. For instance, let me do something. Let me comment this out. Let me comment this out and let me run this. Look at the error message. It's a procedure of function Alex expect parameter rate, which was not supplied. This is a procedure. I have to supply the parameter. And inside my rate table, in my rate column, I have a value that is 125.5. But when I was creating my procedure, what I did was that I passed a parameter of rate and a parameter of pay frequency. I passed two parameters, right? So whenever I pass a parameter, I have to supply the value. And the value must match the value that we have in the primary table, which is from where? From this human resources.employee pay history. Yes, it has to be in the database. So that's that. That's how it works. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. So if I change this to, let's change this to 88.6. Let's change this to 8.6.62. And let's change this to 2 as well. If I select this, then I'm going to run it. So let me do something different. Okay. So that's that. I want to do something. .62. And you see expect parameter. Whenever I pass a single parameter, this is taking two parameters, right? I passed only the rate, is not taking it. So I have to pass the other one as well, which is the at pay history, right? Pay frequency. Pay frequency equals this. Yeah. So that's the ideally supposed to pull this. Let me try and save this. Do you want to know? So let me do new query. Let me do exe. Alex. Wait. Let's do something again. By default, so the stop procedure is not saving. Let me close this and reopen it. Okay, let me do refresh. Let's do refresh. Let's do exe. Procedure expect parameter rate. Okay. So let's do at rate equals, is it 125.5?
Yes, 125.5. Yes.
And that pay history, pay frequency.
Two.
Frequency equals 2. Yeah, so the thing is this. It's supposed to return just a row for this value. So let's do another one. Let's create a new store procedure. Let's create a new store procedure. Let's create procedure. Let's give it let's do Florence.
Florence. Okay.
Yeah. So let's use what table can we use? Let's pass probably the rate. Let's take a look at the table. Let's do department. Do we have? Okay, we have a name and group name. Let's do name and group name from the human resources department.
Okay.
Let's do at name. is N voucher 50, comma, at group name. The group name is also N voucher 50.
N voucher.
Yeah, so we'll do as
N voucher.
select all from, what's the table name? The table name is Human Resources department. Then we do where at name. I didn't put that in the previous one. I don't know if you notice. Where name equals at name. Can you see now we have the IntelliSense? The name has been created as name.
Yes.
And group name equals at what?
At
group name. Yeah. Then we do what? We do go. So let's select all these and let's give it a run. So it says the command completed successfully. Yeah. So let's do exec execute.
Okay.
Florence. Can you see now we have the Florence here?
Florence is created here.
Yeah. So let's give it a run. It's not going to run.
Okay.
The procedure of function expects parameter name which is not supplied.
Supplied. It is. Okay. Yes.
Then we'll now do at name
at name
equals. So let's go and check. Let's do a run on this table. Let's select the top 1,000 rows to select a particular name. So let's select engineering sales. Let's select sales and sales marketing. The name will be sales and the group name will be sales and marketing. Yeah.
Sales and marketing.
Yeah. So this one will be sales. And so we can probably use this and at group name equals this sales and marketing, right?
Sales and marketing.
Incorrect syntax near name.
You didn't pick your E, letter E with it.
Oh, I see. How are you able to spot that? Oh, so this is what I was trying to tell you the other time.
Yes.
So it will return just that very record that passed this value. So this is how to create a simple store procedure. You can see it's very easy. So here, let's see. What is missing here? Oh, okay, I think I deleted the previous one. Okay. So this is a simple store procedure. How to write a simple store procedure. This. Let me put it in the chat. So for the sake of any question before I proceed to a more advanced one?
Oh, sorry, I've just come in. Maybe it's just, I don't know, is this the first store procedure that you wrote?
Yes, I wrote the first one and I skip the where clause. So it returned the same numbers of records that we have in this table. So this is the second one that I wrote, and I included the where clause to extract a particular value based on the value we supplied to for the name and the group name parameters. So this is the second one.
So where is the procedure stored on the left-hand side of the table? Where is it stored there?
So it's storing the programmability. Let me show you that. This is it. Okay. This is for the Alex. Let me refresh this. And the Florence should pop up.
You should.
Oh, sorry, I was refreshing the system. I should refresh the stop procedure instead. Oh, can you see it? Makes it.
So are we seeing how sub procedures are like I know they are like tables?
Yes.
And we only call them when we need them. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. So that's how it works. So we have some. Mr. Heidi, go ahead, please.
Yeah, from my experience too, I also noticed that there are times in organization, maybe for some of us, that will be using it to carry out a daily task. There are some people that come into office in the morning, they want to run certain reports. You know, so they don't really require access to tables to be running.
Yeah, you are right.
So the only thing you give them is just this stop procedure. They will just run it to carry out their tasks in the morning to extract what they need, and they'll continue with their reports. So I think that's also the beauty of having something like this. So that people that does not really need to be writing code all the time.
Yeah,
They'll just do copy and paste. Possibly the only thing they might change is the dates. If it's something that has to do with dates, they can say, okay, from so date to so date, give me this report. They will run it and it make life easier for them. So if you can see more of those applications around daily task, maybe it will help others to appreciate why we are dealing with this. Thank you.
Yeah. So another thing that I would like to point to is this. If you look at these execute stop procedures, at times, if the end user is so kind of very naive and is a person that doesn't really like reading line of codes, you can also provide this kind of interface. There was some time that I used to run a crystal report that have an interface like this. So if this contains like a kind of a date time or a date, you can insert your date. For instance, if it is a date and you just want to see a report based on what has been written from a particular date, you can specify your value for the start date and the end date. This is another way to run a stop procedure, because most time there is always a code that is powering this. So if I supply this value as well, let's supply what is the value again? Is it 125 or what is it? 125.5. And and the second one is what? Is it 2?
2, yes.
2.
Yeah, so oh, sorry, this is not for the
That is
Florence.
for the
I
Alex.
think the Florence is the name.
It's, yeah.
So can you give me the name again? We
Florence.
can pull it from here. No, we are dealing with the group name and
Okay, and the
can you give me any name inside that table? I can just put it here for the name and the group name. I think we are dealing with the sales.
sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing. Yeah. So this is how it works. So most times the GUI is always built as a crystal report. The front end will be built for you to put in your own parameters like value that I want to use to pull the report. The report is going to be based on the SQL query. So whatever parameter you pass is what you're going to extract from the report. That's another beauty of the stored procedure. So any question before I proceed?
Yeah, instead of inserting, typing in supplying sales and sales marketing, can we supply another value under that same column?
Yes. So in the crystal report, at times you can use like they used to have like for instance, if I want to see from today, maybe from today, or you want to see the report in the quarterly, maybe the last 3 quarters or the first 3 quarters. Do you get what I'm saying? There's always a way the front end, the GUI is always built that instead of you trying to select, you can select a group of value that is going to come with your report. Do you get what I'm saying? You can also specify, maybe you have like any report that start that if the organization is using a naming convention, like let's say Epic Clarity 1 and Epic Clarity 2, Epic Clarity 3, and you want to pull all the report that says Epic Clarity, there is also a parameter that you can pass using the @Epic Clarity. It's going to pop up, pull all the report that has the report name of Epic Clarity from the pool of the crystal report in the workbench. So that is another way to do that. It depends on how the developer, when you write the query, Mr. ID, we build the query. There's some other guys that build the front end. When we are building a crystal report, it's like a workbench report that are used to run like daily activity of an organization. Is always in a workbench. So whenever you build like a report that you write a stored procedure, the front end is what you will give to the end user. Like for instance, my previous job, I work in a hospital network. You get what I'm saying? So most time they want to give the nurses and the physician the opportunity to be able to run report on their own. They are not code savvy, or they might not be SQL savvy. So the best way you can put that product in their hands is to probably create a user friendly interface where they will be able to put in the date, the names by themselves, and they won't alter the content of the SQL query that is powering the report. That's another way to do it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, actually, hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, what I want us to supply now this one, we've made it to be somehow dynamic in the sense that you will supply when we are but now when you wanted to execute, you say, okay, look for the one for sales and the group name to be sales and marketing. I know we have other options there. Let's assume, okay, another department comes, okay, I don't want sales this time around. This month, I want to look at engineering. Yeah. Now let's look at other options that we have there so that people can appreciate that this thing is more.
Okay, you want me to supply another value, right?
Yeah. Okay. GUI style that you did now, which is okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Running through the code as well.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you provide any value for me?
Okay, hold on. Let me check tables. That's under. Is it department or what?
It's under. Let's see.
Resources. Have you done? What's it?
It's under.
Okay. Okay.
That should be under.
Let me see.
That should be under human resources department.
Okay. So let's.
So I need the name.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so let's do engineering under name.
Engineering.
Research and development group name.
Research.
Okay. So you can enhance at least. So it's either we follow this format or we also type it as execute. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So
I have a question before you move further.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, I just wanted to this line of code.
Yeah.
To declare return value integer. That declaration is referring to which one? Is it the number, as in the system generated number?
So can you differentiate which mode are we right now? We are in the executable mode, not the main code. This is the main code. Where is the main code? Let's see. Okay. Let me extract it from the chart.
Okay, is it at the point of executing it using the
yes? So this is the main code. I want to show Mr. Five something. So this is the main code. This is the main code where we create the procedure and all the likes. This is the main code. But whenever you click or you right click on the store procedure and you want to supply the value, it's going to come like this: declare return value int. This, you can see this is in the executable mode. So in the executable mode, it's going to be like this because we have supplied what? We have supplied the value for the name and the group name. But if you want to create it, we are not supplying any name. We are just passing the parameter.
Which one is the executive? The last one. Florence name as sales and group name as sales and marketing. That's another executable mode.
This is an executable mode using this GUI. But if you right click on the dbo.florence and click on execute now, it's going to pop up this something like this after running. You can see this is what output is. This is the output for this code, right?
Yes.
This is the output of this code. But if we run, once you run the create procedure, you won't be able to run it again because this procedure is the one that created this dbo.florence, right? So whenever I want to execute this dbo.florence, we have to pass in the parameter, the value for the parameter. That is the reason why we use the exec Florence at the parameter that will supply the value. So this is manual, right? This is using the GUI in the query mode, right? But if you want to use the executable mode, that is where we put in our value into something that looks like a chart, like a box like that. And the output of that is what generated this. And it gave us this output.
So that means when you supply those parameters, it generated this declare return
yes. You can see it has a value of engineering and research and development.
Now you mentioned GUI. Which one is the GUI? GUI is the.
So let me show you something. Let's do execute. Yeah. So if so this is a GUI. So if an organization have multiple reports in their workbench, this is what you will see. By your left-hand side, you will see the name of all the reports that were built from the SQL query. Do you get what I'm saying? So whenever you click on that, like for instance, if I click on, let's assume that I gave this report Florence to be Florence report. So whenever I click on Florence report, this parameter is going to pop up. What do you really want to see? we declare the date, we'll be able to select our start date and end date, and we'll be able to select pass some parameters based on what we want the report to output for us.
Okay.
So if you are very familiar with, there is one hospital network solution like that, Epic. Epic has a workbench report. Once you click on that, you see all the reports that were being built using this SQL query. If it is being used, I think they use SQL. So that report always have like a kind of a front end where you'll be able to select. Even you can use a search box to search for the report you are looking for. You search for the report. Once you click on it, the parameters that the report needs, before you can run it, you have to put in the value. If you put in a wrong value, it won't take it. So for instance, if I want to run a report like from today, I want to look into 30 days back. Do you get what I'm saying? That must have been included in the body of our code, of our store procedure. So by the time you are passing the parameter will be able to will allow you to be able to supply the data that will looks from today, it will looks like 30 days back or a year back. So basically, they always use M-2. Do you get what I'm saying? At times they use Y-2. At times they use T-2, today -2. So today -2 is going to be what? Saturday, Friday. Do you get what I'm saying? So if I want to run any report on Monday, since I'm not going to be in the office on Sunday, I will just do that Monday -3 or -2. So that will give me the chance to be able to run Friday report. If that database is being populated or refreshed every 24 hours. If I'm at work on Friday, I can only see an updated data for when? Thursday, right? So that means Saturday I will not be at work. But I have to provide the Friday report to my boss, right? So that means on Monday I will do T today minus the number of days that will give me the value for the report for Friday. Does that answer your question, Mr. Fash?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I add up quickly? So,
yeah, please.
The GUI is an abbreviation of what?
Graphical user interface.
Graphical user interface. And can we say GUI is a kind of user-friendly template that allow people that are not really SQL savvy to access database?
Yeah, you are right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
graphical user interface.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody tried to run the code that we have on our chat now? I know this do happen a lot, all little minor things. I copied it and pasted it, but I'm getting error.
Error, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting error too.
Okay. You are not talking.
So
I know it's just a minor thing.
Let's go back to it and let's troubleshoot it together. It's part of learning. Okay. So where's that? Oh, I know where the problem is. So you don't want to run all this code together. I know where the problem is. So the thing is that the execute, before you can run the execute, you have to create your store procedure first. So this is the first one you will run.
Can you open another?
Yeah, let me open another one.
Okay.
Okay. Let me open another one. I'm gonna name that to be. So I'm going to name that one to be Fash.
Okay.
Mr. Fash, I'm very sorry to use your name.
No, nothing to sorry about it. Na Canada man.
Thank God they are not using UK.
So once we choose the name, once we name our store procedure, what we'll do is that we have to run it. If you don't run it, it's not going to pop up in your store procedure. So let's do execute.
Good. That is the error. So I know something is fishing somewhere.
Select all from.
Then I think it's also good you show people how to add the line number to this thing so that they will know the particular line that the problem is. It's saying line 1.
Okay, the line can come up. I think how do I
it's setting now.
Yeah, there's a way the line can come up.
Under tools. But let's resolve this first. I separated it, so I know this is a common error like that. It's somewhere. Say near go. Line 1. Line 1.
Line 1, batch number.
The error might not be around that area. It might be before they go.
Create procedure. Publish at. Create. Name vehicle as from where. Let's say line 1.
That line one might be from the create procedure because we didn't put let us generate the line by the side of the code so that we'll be able to trace it.
This is very funny. I've been running this so many times. Batch start line. Let's do this. Maybe this. Procedure. Create procedure.
Did you call the database name before you wrote the create procedure?
No, I think it's recognizing the database now.
Okay.
It's already showing up there.
Oh. Let me see. Okay.
Create procedure.
I think we have to run it with the. Sorry. I think I mislead you.
Alright. You can see the environment of the house, the land. This is very well.
This is very funny.
This is. You can also see the environment of the land.
Where is the noise coming from?
Level 15 stage 1 procedure first line 1 batch line. Create procedure. Let's do rate. See any int. Then we do as select star from my resources dot employee pay history. We do where rate equals at rate, comma, and pay frequency equals at pay frequency. Let's do it work. It might just be a little space. So it works. And now let's go to our database. Let's go to our programmability. Let's go to our store procedure. Do we have it there? No. So right click on the Right click on the store procedure and do refresh. So now we have DBO Fash, right? So then we do EXEC. Then we do the name is what? Fash should pop up. Then at, can you give me the rate value? At rate equals, let's do 125.5, comma,
okay,
and at pay
2,
pay
4,
frequency
4.
pay frequency to be what? To be 2, right? Let's give it a run. Okay, so we didn't have is 125.50.50.
Okay.
So yeah, so it works.
Can you paste the new code in the chat, please?
Okay, so if I paste it in the chat and it doesn't work, I will probably advise that you probably write your own code from the beginning.
Okay.
I think that might be the problem.
Can I chip in real quick? I'm trying to figure out something.
Okay.
Is it
I also
because
figure out something too. Okay,
can I go on, please? Thank you. Is it because we have Fash as part of the naming database? That's why we have the rate. That's why we have the results about Fash and the pay frequency and the rate. What if we don't have Fash as part of the name in database?
So before you can call it, you can call it, from this execution, I'm calling this name, right? I'm calling this procedure.
Yes.
You can name it anything. You can name it Indiana, you can name it Nigeria, you can name it Canada, you can name it anything. But before you be able to call a store procedure, it has to be created and stored in the store procedure under the programmability folder.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Abiodun.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I did something now. I just ChatGPT to give me steps to follow, and after us, there's begin. I know this might also be a different format. The beginning and end of that select, and it worked. So I want to maybe we should try it and see if I don't know, because even that one that we're having issue with, we should able to figure out what could be the problem.
Yeah, that one has worked.
Copy and paste. Okay, has it worked?
Yes, it has worked.
No, you edited some things now. The other one you gave us.
Yeah, this is at the back of the lunch. I think this is the one I gave you, right?
No. The one you gave us is name and group name.
The name and group name?
Yeah.
It works.
Where is it?
Do you mean the one in the chat?
The one in the chat that you were trying to resolve. I will say I think two of us had issues with it.
Okay, this. So I think what I notice is this. Whenever you are creating a store procedure, at times it might require that you either save it or refresh it. That's another problem. So let's do this. This is let's do new query. Let's do this.
Just run it as it is. Let's see the error again. So someone might be under pressure like this, having this kind of challenge. Now, what I did, I don't know if that might help, but I don't know. I added after us, I added begin. No, not for this one. For the other one, we're having error.
Yeah, so the one I paste in the chat.
After us, I added begin. Okay.
Yeah, so I know. If I start this all over again and I start writing the code from the beginning, it will work.
Okay, it will work.
Yes.
Oh.
So that is what I did here. So this is the thing. Whenever you are creating a store procedure, it might requires that you refresh this again. You can't just do a copy and paste. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you copy that, once you run this, it's simply because I was the one that started that code. I started it on my system and I just copy and send it to you. So if you type it, not copying and pasting to it, it will work.
It will work. Okay. Let me quickly try it.
Just try it and let me know. Because at times, if you create a new store procedure, you have to like go to the programmability folder and refresh the store procedure folder before it to even pop up from it. So if you don't do that and you do your execute, it's not going to work. So do you want me to proceed to the next example?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So let me just, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this Alex. Always want to, I'm going to delete the Fash. This out. Let's do new query. So for the new query, so the first one that the first store procedure that we created, we use just single table, right? Now I want to use two table, more advanced query. So I'll write it one after the other. So if you are missing anything, feel free to stop me and tell me to go back. So now I want to create a temp. I want to create a temp employee procedure. And I'm using, okay, let me bring this up so that you can have an understanding of what I want to do. You should be familiar with this join table. I think it's part of what part of the query we ran yesterday, but I only added the sick leave hours to it. You should be familiar with the AHE and the AHEP. You guys should be familiar with that. So what I want to do now is that I want to create a temp employee and I want to create a new table. So my new table is going to contain the job title, the business entity ID, the marital status, and the sick leave hours. So this 4 column is coming from what? From where? It's coming from the two tables, right? You can see I'm performing a joint operation on the AHEP table and the AHE table, which is the Adventure 2019 Human Resources Employee and the Adventure.person.business entity. The reason why I just copy it this way is that so that you'll be able to trace that it's coming from two tables using the inner join. So the first thing for me to do is that let me go back to the to my new query. So I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to say create procedure. What name do you want me to give it? Give me any name. Let's say temp fash. Temp fash. And I will do as I want to create a new table. Create table. Then I will add my create table, my heart symbol. Then I'll call that to be temp underscore fash. You can see that procedure name has what? I capitalize each word, right? But for me to be able to differentiate, my table name is what? Lowercase, lowercase. And I will do the column that I want to return will be job title, the data type, right? Do you want me to show you where that is? if you look at the job title in the job title in the AHE table, which is the human resources employee. Let's go to the human resources employee. Let's close this up. Let's go to the human resources employee. Human resources employee. So the job title is here and it's N voucher, right? 50. And I will do comma. And another column that I'm pulling from here is what? I'm pulling the business entity, right? Okay, I want to pull the business entity from the second table. So this, and the business entity from the second table is what? The business entity is what? Is int. So I can do the business entity ID to be int. Is that correct? It's int. And the next column that I want to display is what? I want to display the marital status. And the marital status is what? NCHA. So I'll do the marital status. Is that correct? Marital status. NCHA. Was it 1? And the last one is what? Is the sick leave. Sick leave hours, which is a small int. So why is this? Okay, job title. Okay, so I think I made him. So in front of your table name, you need to add an open bracket. And once that is done, then we'll close it up here. So now we have what? We have named our store procedure and we have created a temporary table for FASH, right? So the next thing for us to do is that we have to insert. We have to insert the values into this table we created. So to do that, I will do insert into, what is the table name? Can you see the table name pop up, right? Say temp FASH. I'm going to do that. And I will do select. Then I will do the job title. Let me just list the column first, then I will add the alias to it. Then the business entity, right? Business entity ID, comma. Then the marital status, comma. And the last one is what? The sick leave hours. Then I'll do from. Sorry, I have to do this, Mr. Fash. I know you don't really like it. Sorry, but I will have to do it simply because that is what I put in the material that I sent earlier. Then I have to do the database name.
Human resources.
Then the human resources dot what? The employee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make that to be my what? As what? As that will be my AHE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll do inner join my adventure dot person dot business entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dot business entity as what?
APB.
APB. Okay. So in the query in the material that I sent earlier, I label it to be AHEP. So for this sake, now it's going to be APB. So I don't want you to be confused with it. So what is the next thing for us to do now? So that the select will know the actual table to pull from is for us to add what? To add our alias to the column, right? So we are pulling the job title from where? We are pulling it from our AH, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only column we are pulling from our APB is what?
None.
We are pulling just the business entity. So I will do, can you see by default, this job title, marital status, doesn't throw an error simply because they are all coming from the same table. So let's do.
But sorry, Mr. Abiodun, we have business entity in HRO, Human Resources Employee as well.
Yes, I just want to, okay, can you give me any other column you want me to display here instead of the business entity ID?
Then we need to go and look the other table.
Okay, so let's go to the let's go to the person business entity. Person business entity. So we only have the business entity ID and the modified date. I think the reason why I chose the business entity ID is simply because of the data type. I don't want to use the role GUID simply because of the unique identifier data type. So that's the reason why I chose that. But we also have the modified date in the other table. So this business entity ID that I chose here is from the APB. So that's the reason why I have the alias. So let's do APB dot.
I guess it's more like a spelling issue because normally, since we have business entity ID in the Human Resources Employee, you should even see it as well.
Yeah.
So I will know, since you have been typing, I've been waiting to see the column you are pulling from the other table.
Okay, let's do something. You say it might be a typo error. Let's do business, Abby. Business entity ID. Still throw an error.
Okay, maybe because it appears in the two tables.
Yeah.
The error is asking that which of the two tables.
Can you type?
So which of the two tables do you want to
pull
this
thing
thing
from?
Can you
put AHE dot this entity. Let's see what happens.
AHE.
The first table.
The first database, human resources.
Yeah, alias, the first alias of the first table. AHE.
Take it. Dot.
It will take it.
It will take it now. So it's because we have it in the two tables, so we need to specify the particular one.
Yeah, that's why we
have that's the main reason. And that is the reason why if you look at the query that I sent you guys, I aliased it. It was aliased.
Mr. Abiodun, can we use another thing so that people can know that we're actually using something different from the other table as well?
So this is the thing. Okay.
We can join them together with a business identity because that's what they have in common. That is fine.
So let's use the row GUID. But the row GUID is also in the other table as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So the row GUID is also here. Can you see it? And the modified date is also here.
Okay.
So that was the reason why I decided to use the business entity ID. And you can see by the time I put the PB dot business entity ID, this also returned and okay, it's expecting something to terminate. So let's do the AHE for this. And let's do the AHE for this. And let's do the AHE for this. So now that has been done, then we have to do our inner join So then we have to do our on. So we do our on the AHE dot business entity equals the APB dot business entity. So, and I want to do what? I want us to order it by the sick leave hours. Order by, let's do HE dot sick leave hours. So that is that. So once that is done, what we need to put is another thing. We want all this query, this procedure to select from where? From this temp underscore fash table. So we will do select all from, let's do temp. Sorry, you have to use the.
What is that the way to create a table? Why are we asking that hash?
So this is a temporary table.
We
are trying to insert into that table.
No, I know. If you don't put the hash, will it still work?
It won't work.
This is the way.
That's the way it was created. That's a temporary table.
Okay.
Temporary table.
Yeah. So let's give it a run, and let me see if we don't have any fash here. Okay. So let's give it a run. Yeah. So it says command completed successfully. So let's go back to our store procedure. I'm going to do a right click and I'm going to refresh this. So now we have the temp fash table here. So the next thing for us to do is what? So let's execute. So can you tell me, if I want to execute, am I going to execute this fash table, or I'm going to execute this temp underscore fash?
The new table we created is the hash temp.
Am I going to run this temp, or am I going to execute this? That's my question. This or this?
I think you're going to execute the temp fash, the big one.
Yes.
Big one, yeah.
Yes.
So that's what we created.
Yeah. So we will always call the store procedure. This is the store procedure name. Is the name that we have to call, not the table we created. So let's do exec, then we'll do temp fash. Let's execute. So this is it. Now you can see that we pull some columns from the other table. We pull like 3 columns from one table. We put one column. We pull one column from one table, and we put it in a temporary table. That's the logic. Give me 3 tables from here. Give me 1 table from here, and make it a temporary table. That's how it works. And within this temp file, within this temporary table or this store procedure, I can also specify a parameter as well, as we did the other time. So to do that, let's modify the store procedure. So for us to do that, right click on this. This is very tricky. This is very, very tricky. Let's right click and select modify. Once we select modify, you will see that we have use adventure database And if you go to alter procedure from here, I can specify parameter or multiple parameters that I want to pass. So how many parameters do you want us to pass? Do you want us to pass 2 parameters or just a single to text it out? So let's do at, so from our output, can you, okay, so we have the job title and we have the marital status. Let's pass the job title and the marital status. Let's do at job title. Please, can you tell me the data type for the job title? Data type for the job title. Is it N voucher 50? Is that correct?
Vaca 50.
Okay. So let's do that. Once we are done with that, then we go to, then we insert a where clause anywhere in our insert table. Can I see I've declared the job title that I want to pass the value for the job title in alter procedure. Then I have to come here and insert where job title equals at job title. So can you tell me the next thing to do now? This part is very tricky. At times it can throw you off like, what did I do? So the thing to do is this. You know, the store procedure we have in the database now has been altered. Do we have to save it or do we have to run it to update the database? What do we have to do? So let's do this. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to execute. Can you see? It says command completed successfully. If you forgot to execute to run it, and let's go back to this. I want to show you something. No, we executed all this, right? When we generated the temp file for Fash, right? And later I came to run this to execute that table, the store procedure, right? So if I didn't save or run the store procedure that I altered, and I came here, it's going to be throwing an error. So you have to run whatever modification you did to your existing store procedure in the database. You have to run it to make sure that it's executed, which is going to update all the parameters before you come and execute the store procedure again. So can someone tell me what's going to happen if I execute this based on what we did for the simple store procedure that we created? Do you think it's going to request for something? Do you think it's going to run?
To ask for parameter now.
To ask for the job title.
Okay. So let's give it a shot. Can you say sales procedure of function temp fash expect parameter job title which was not supplied? So for us to do that, so what do I have to do? So then I have to do what at job title equals, now our job title, what do we have? Can someone tell me what we have in our job title? Is there anything that, can you give me any job title name in the table we created?
I don't know. Job title. Let me bring in the table and check what's going on.
Someone should give me one job title that we have there.
Let's use design engineer.
Okay. That will be design engineer. So let's give it a run. So this is it. Is that a magic? Do you want us to use the GUI to execute it as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do DBO temp fash, execute store procedure. The job title is what? Design engineer. Design engineer. Let's click OK. So same thing.
My question is this: if let's assume we don't want to alter, we want that first attempt, we want to run it like that and to give us this output. It's not possible that we get it instead of the alter procedural step that we went through now.
So the main reason why we are doing the altering is simply because maybe we want to, the customer want to add more parameters to it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, fine, you've run this code, it's working perfectly, but instead of using the job title to filter for the report, I want to add more. I want to be able to supply more parameters. You don't have to go back to the, let's say, you don't have to go back to the main query again. You can come into this temp fash and do modify. So we can modify it from here. So when they say that store procedure is reusable, the reusability lies in the ability to be able to tweak whatever component or parameters that has been declared to suit the kind of solution or problem you want to solve. Like now, we can see that I can see that we are pulling from these two tables, and I want to join other tables to this. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't have to start writing all this code all over again. I will just call the temp fash, right? And I will add whatever I want to add to it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so after the alter procedure saved, we'll go back to the old one again and now execute from there, right?
Yes. So once you like for if you want to update this code, we can do our update from here, and we'll select from the top to from the temp fash
and save it.
Then save it. Now we've updated this. Instead of, okay, if I'm a citizen developer and I'm still learning how to write a SQL code, and you have built this code, and the code is only asking for the job title, but my boss want me to add what? Add another additional parameter to it. No, I will just come here, right? And I will say where job title at job title, and I will do what another parameter do we have? There we have sex, gender, right? And gender.
Let me see.
Let's see. Job title and marital status.
We have gender. We have marital.
Okay, marital status and marital status equals at marital status. So
it will not work because we have not declared it.
Yeah, so I will come to the top as well and do comma, and I will do at marital status. What is the data type?
Okay.
Encha
one.
So once that is done, then I will come here again. I will select all through this. Then I will execute. Can you see it's a complete, right? So if I want to execute now, instead of it asking for only the job title as the parameter, I have to supply the job title parameter and the marital status parameter. I'll just come here and I will do execute. Okay. You can see now we have the marital status and we have the job title, right? So what's the value for the job title? We have the design engineer, right? Design engineer. And we have what? Can you give me one marital status?
M or F, anyone.
Okay.
F. Okay.
Let's do, okay. Can marital status be M on F? I think the gender is M and F. Can you help me to check the marital status again?
Oh, sorry.
Single and married.
SM, yeah.
Okay. So this will be design engineer. And this will be, is this single?
Single or
S,
married?
just single S letter word, right?
S and M.
Yes, yeah.
Then we do okay.
Check the spelling. Or is it that we don't have any design engineer that? Okay, do M.
Single.
Do M, let's see.
Let's see M.
Let's do
That's
M.
interesting.
Let's pull the, can someone just pull that table? You should be
I've
able
done
to.
that. I've done that.
Okay, so we have maybe design engineer, right? Engineer. And is it M like this or married?
I don't know what. The table.
Let's do this. What table is it? Is it the employee table?
Resource employee, yeah.
Okay. Select top 1000.
Okay.
So it's M and X. And we have the design engineer to be M. This is design engineer. This is MM. Okay.
So we should be able to get something.
Oh, this is it. Do you know what happened? I think I know what happened. I opened two of this thing.
Okay.
Can you see the executable DUI? I have two of this. So at times can be, let me just cancel out
what
of
we
this.
did before was correct then?
Yeah.
So
this is it. So we've been able to filter down by the marital status of married rather. And we're able to pass in our value.
So is it because you opened two?
Yeah,
that was why it wasn't coming up.
Yeah, it might be because I keep wondering why. So later, so this is how to pass parameters and supply values and write store procedures. And another thing is this, store procedure is just it's like we are trying to present like a kind of a product to a naive user or a passive user, like someone that does not have a better understanding on how to write a code. And another thing for us to
observation, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have any single that's a design engineer.
Yeah, that was the reason why it returned 0.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this also worked.
It was just blank.
Another observation.
Yeah, go ahead.
And a question. Let's go back to that SQL command.
The SQL command?
Yeah.
Want me to go to the edit mode? To the alter mode? That will be the alter mode. Where is that? Programmability. System. Tables. Okay. Modify. Okay.
My question is, assuming we want to add another table to this SQL now, where are we going to do that? Are we going to go towards the inner join area as we want to add a top table?
So you want to add a table to a table, or you want to add more columns to a table?
No, I want to add a table to these tables. You know, we have 2 tables here now.
Yeah, okay. You want to join another table to it.
Yeah.
So let me explain the better way for you to see it whenever you want to write a store procedure. Do you want me to give you that clue? The clue is that go and write your whatever join you want to do first here. Write it in another query page. Just copy it. Once you copy it, then do insert into. Once you do insert into your temp table, then declare all the column you want to return. That's the store procedure. The main work is here.
I know, but you know, in this case now, the store procedure has been created. We now wanted to add a table to it. That's what I'm asking.
So if I want to add another table to it,
yeah,
that means I'm using 3 tables in this store procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to the way we write our join. You can do a left join to another table. You can do an inner join to it.
What I'm saying is, if we want to add that table now, can we do it under this modify mode, or we go back to the main?
You can do anything under this your modify mode. Anything.
Okay.
What you just need to do is this.
To it now.
Let's do something, Mr. Fash, before you proceed. Let's do something. Let's do this. Must declare the scalar variable job title. Okay, let's do something. I just do have the jobs. Okay. This is a scale. Okay. This is the reason why this is not working, right? Let's comment this out. This job title is scalar. This is scalar, right? Let's run it like this. Can you see what I said? It's going to work. It's like the store procedure is like you are putting a query inside a table. Do you get what I'm saying? But the difference is that if you write, look at the way we pass our where value. In a normal SQL query, it won't run if you are not in this in the executable mode of a store procedure. That's the reason why I commented it out. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like writing a normal SQL query that we want to create a table. So it is always very good to do whatever manipulation you want to do here. Once you are done, you can put this your where clause here. Let me show you something again. Instead of putting my where clause here, I can put it after the order by, and it's still going to work. Order by where job title. I don't think it's a word. Let's see. I'm coming. Let me comment this out. Okay. Let me leave this. Put it here. Okay, it won't work. I read an article that the where clause can be anywhere. I'm going to try that again anyway. I read an article that says the where clause can be anywhere. So the thing is this. Let's always assume that this your select statement is the way you are writing your normal SQL query. So the only difference is that we are just inserting a temp table. This table we are creating a temporary table for it by declaring what? Our output and specifying the data type for each of the outputs, each of the columns we want to see in our output. That's all. That is the difference. But do you know that I think we have done 2 things together here now. We have succeeded in creating a store procedure, and we have succeeded in creating a temporary table. Yes. That is what we have done together here now. So before we can create a temporary table, that table, the temporary table is like a normal table, but it's temporary. Yeah. So if we fail to declare the column data type and the column, like for instance, now by creating this table, we know that we have 1, 2, 3, 4
all columns.
columns. So whatever you are declaring here at your select statement level must be equivalent to what you declared in your created table. Yes.
Yeah.
So the simplest way to go about it is that if I want to write a store procedure that is going to do a very big chunk of job, I will focus on my select statement and write that query to work first before creating the temporary table for it. That's how it works.
Then for the purpose of readability, I don't know, maybe you can, the select statement, each of the column, those columns that we have in the select statement, maybe you can put them on a line like this so that for easy understanding.
Yeah. So I think
after job title, you press enter, let the next column come down. After the job title.
Job title.
On your select statement, APB now. APB. Okay. Enter. Then HE, enter. Then down one to enter. Then let us tap the 3 forward. Tap the 3 forward so that they will be on the same line with the from. The 3 columns so that for easy readability and understanding. Yeah.
Okay. We can even make this to be like this. So we know these are the column we are selecting. So any question?
I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, in a situation whereby there is increase in cost of goods and we need to increase the results, whatever we are going to get. I think that we did one of rates now, but we don't want you to return the exact value that we have in the original table. Possibly maybe along the line, they've increased the cost of the price of that item or the rate. So the new figure that will be displayed now would be with the increase. So how we need to at least able to see how to now do the manipulation such that when we do the calculation, it will come up with the new figure.
So what you're trying to tell me, if I get your question, is that if there is going to be a change in our data manipulation, maybe we are aggregating, we are calculating, how are we going to handle that? So that's a very good question, and it's pretty very easy. You know, whatever we are pulling from the source database, right? And whatever change that is going to happen is going to happen at the database level. So once it happens at the database level, all what we just need to do is that maybe, for instance, our discount rate is maybe 0.4, for instance. Okay, for this quarter, we are doing 40% discount. And maybe the management decided, you know what, 40% discount is too much. Let's reduce it to 25. So in whatever formula that we might have written in our SQL, we just have to come back to this modify query as well in the store procedure part and change that to maybe, if it is 0.04, we just have to change it to 0.225. That's all.
I have another question, please.
Please go ahead.
Now, what makes this table temporary? Is it that when we now shut down the system now, the table will disappear and we'll not see it again?
No. The table is going to be there. So the main reason why we use store procedure is simply because we want to use that table in other part of our code. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if I select, I can still, for instance, if I want to return just 2 columns from this temp table, the temp underscore fash table, I can return just 2 columns and join to other tables again. Do you get what I'm saying? This is like a table, but it's a table that was derived from other table, and we can use that to join to another table as well. You know, the thing is that have any one of you writes SAS SQL? SAS SQL is like this. SAS SQL, for instance, if you want to probably generate an output in SAS SQL can generate all these small tables that we are generating as store procedure. SAS SQL can generate 20 tables for you, depending on how you write the code. But in MS SQL, it's different. It differs. Do you get what I'm saying? Try and read about SAS SQL. I have a friend that works with SAS SQL, and we always work together on it. Whenever you want to use a table in the next execution, you can create your table like a kind of a block, like a block programming. You have a table A, and table A is related to table B. From table C, pull table A and join to table E again. Do you get it? That is the main essence of creating like a store procedure, for you to be able to call it and reuse it in another line of code, on the part of your code. So this is a take-home question for us. Can we join a temp table to a temp table? Is it possible? Is it possible to join a temp table to a temp table? So let's do this. Let's
You
do
can join
this.
two tables together. It doesn't matter if it is temporary. I think it should go.
So let's. I want to do something. Select all from. What's the name of our table?
The original table, yeah. But this one you were trying to run before is the.
Yeah, what's the name of our original table?
It's TempFash.
TempFash.
Capital letter T, capital letter F or so. But I don't know why it's not seeing it.
I want to see something. Create TempFash.
Okay, this is where we modified it.
Alter store procedure. Let's say store procedure. Oh, okay. We can only execute store procedure. So we can only, let's do this. This will work. It's just an invalid object name. Invalid object name. But if we do execute
the one with the capital, hashtag capital T, capital F, that one should go.
Let's see. These are the tricky part of it.
If we select the capital T and capital F, I think that one will go.
So that'll be
hashtag the capital T and the capital F.
No, it's not gonna work.
We don't have anything that is capital hash with capital T.
Yeah, so we only have these. Okay, those are the tricky part of this thing. Okay, let's go to this. Let me do execute.
This pass null and co. What's the work?
Yeah, so if there are tables that have non-values,
I think that should be from the table that was created for those columns.
Yeah, so if you check pass none, let's execute it. So pass none means you want to supply none as the value of instead of the actual value in the table. So
Does the declaration of the column even takes that?
But we didn't put anything now.
Yeah, look at this. Look at the execute.
Okay.
And you see the job title say none. So if I uncheck it, it will request for a value.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other question? So in the next class, I will come up with a real life scenario, maybe based on something that we'll try to translate it into it, like create a store procedure for using we'll use the same database, but we'll try and pass the aggregate function into our select statement as the store procedure, just for us to work on how to use other SQL function instead of just using the select and probably pulling each of the column. I want us to use like the count a particular column, the average, select distinct, and for us to write a store procedure, and we should be able to execute it. Something like that.
Please?
That is what we're going to do in our next class.
Yeah. Please, can you quickly go back to where we have rates? Where we did that rate? Where is it?
The rate.
Not here.
Do we have it in the something? Can I think we have something like rate here. Do you want me to copy this?
Yeah.
So I have to create that newly. I'm going to create a new query. We'll do this. So join perfectly.
Okay, so now in executing it now, I don't know. You know, the other time I was asking the question that let's assume there's a change in rate. You don't want to tamper with the original table, but in the new value that you're going to get when you execute, you want that the change in rate to reflect.
So if you take a look at this, where rate equals to rate in the main primary table.
Okay.
That is it. We can't change anything here.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
So are you saying this rate here now is the rate inside the select all rates table?
Yes. So if you want to modify the rate, maybe that is going to be
which one is in the original table? Is it the one with art or the one without art?
The one with the heart is the one in the original. Any value in the original table that's equal. If you put a value that is not in the original table, it's going to it won't return any row for you. It has to be. How do I explain this? The primary table for the rate and the pay frequency.
The rate is equal to art rate is just telling you that
the value must be the value.
Variable. One is a variable that is holding the actual value.
Yes.
One is holding actual value. One is a variable.
Which one is the actual value here now?
So this is the variable.
Is the actual one. This one, the rate is the variable. The art rate is the rate that you want to supply, which is coming from your select all rates table.
Yeah, which is coming from the main database, main table. So if you provide a value that is outside the rate value in the database or in your table, it's not going to return anything for you.
And that is why if you look at after the create procedure, you can see that when you put at rate is equal to money, at pay frequency is tiny integer. You understand? That is the one you are supplying.
The data type has to match. For instance, for the pay frequency, it is a tiny integer, right? If you go and supply a string value, it's not going to work.
Not going to take it.
No, what I'm the question now, create procedure at rate money. That one is the one in the new, which is that
what you want to supply that is coming from the database.
Yes, the one that is coming from the database is at rate money. Yes.
Money. Okay.
Yes.
The new one now will not be ordinary rate.
Yes, that variable is just these are the variables. This is the variable that the end user is going to see. This is what the end user is going to see. This is what the end user is going to see. Whatever you are supplying here must be equivalent to what is here.
Can we now say that rate now, the new one that we're going to get at the end of the day, rate equals to 2 times at rate? Will it work?
No. Okay. No, it won't work.
That manipulation will be done where?
So the manipulation, that is what I'm trying to tell you that we'll do in the next class.
That you have to go to your database table and edit.
Yes.
No. Sometimes you don't need to edit from database, though.
No. You don't edit from database.
If you don't want to edit from your database,
yes,
then that would have been done in a query before.
Yes, it has to be done in a query. That is what I said we're going to do next week. Okay. Using the aggregate function, using the average,
that
using the sum.
Done in your query.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's after your query, then that is when you now come to your creating store procedure.
Because your final query is going to generate what for you? A table. And whatever table your final query generated for you is the temp table that we are storing in the database.
Mm.
Do you get it now?
Mhm.
And since you specify, you are going to specify the data type and the variable that is going to be declared when we are creating our store procedure is what we have to provide when we want to run the report. You can't supply a value that is outside the table you have generated using your SQL query. When you are doing your insert, doing your join, doing your aggregation, when you are ordering and grouping by, whatever value that table gives you is what you will use to query that store procedure. That's how it works.
Okay, no problem. Let's go to next week then.
Yeah.
Because you know what is behind the database. For the user that is going to use the user interface, you know,
We can't hear you.
You can't use what is outside the database.
The database, you can only query the database. The database can only give you what it has.
Yeah.
For instance, if a column has a value range from,
you just maybe depending on the way they define the error, maybe not in use. You know, you can write your query such that it will tell you that that value you are given is not in the database.
yes. So for instance, if a report, that was the reason why I explained that. For me to run a Friday report, I have to do T-3, right? So for instance, if I get to work on Friday and I want to run the report for Friday, I won't see it because the database only updates every 24 hours. You can only pull what is available in the database. You can't add to the database from the store procedure executable code. No, you can only pull from what you have generated from the reports you added when you are creating your store procedure. That's how it works.
Okay.
Any other question?
Thank you.
I think the class is getting interesting. Hope it's not too complex. Ifeoma, do you have any question, Larry? Might need to have a one-on-one, right?
I think people should try and practice. Let's follow the video or the recorded session. Practice it up to date, what we have done. It will help a lot. Yeah. It's not just to be listening to it alone. I think we need to practice it. Get your hands dirty.
So if you have any question, dirty your hands. If you have any question, please feel free to reach out to me. I also want to learn. Everyone is, you bring a very difficult problem. If I'm unable to probably crack it in a day, then I'll sleep over it, consult my
crack it after sleep.
Yes. So we are all learning, and I want this class to be very interactive. And basically, once you are able to write SQL, you just need to learn know the basics. Once you know the basic, once you get a job, nobody's going to tell you, okay, I'm going to be watching over your shoulder and let me see what you're writing. No, your boss is not going to do that. Even your boss might not even be a data savvy person. So you can always consult the internet, consult the Google. And I think I learned that the GitHub is now having a co-pilot, an AI co-pilot, where you can tell the GitHub to say, okay, fine, I want to join two tables and I want to create so procedure. In 3 minutes or 2 minutes, you get the result and you tweak it to whatever you want to do. So life is becoming more easier with AI now. So please try to know the basics, and if you have any question, please just reach out to me.
Before AI will start doing that, let us get our own job.
Okay. So that's another thing. When they say co-pilot, AI will only give you a reasonable result when you know the reasonable question to ask. That's just the truth.
Yeah. That's
if
right.
you don't know the reasonable question to ask the AI, you just be messing around and be wasting your time. So that's the truth. So let's call it a day. I think now everything is making sense. We only ran four queries today. So next week we'll also run another 4 query, and we'll do functions, we'll do real life scenario problems. We'll try to solve it together. We'll brainstorm on it. And I think from there we should be able to be getting more comfortable. So any question? Is everyone okay? Can we call it a day? Go ahead, Mr. Fash.
I think with what you have done today now, I know I still want, maybe in the next class we are still going to give more clarity. I know there is a temporary table. I know there is a system table. I know there is a CTE table, common table.
Yeah. There is
I know
CTE
we
table.
have local table.
We have a lot. We have a lot of
global
tables.
We have physical tables. So maybe next
I
class.
beg. Don't use us to do tutorial now.
No, I said I know those things, but I don't really know the differences between them.
Okay.
And that was why I asked that question, that temporary table, does it mean that after the class now, once we close all these query and we shut down the system, when we open it again, are we going to see that database under the procedure? That was why I asked that question.
Yeah, so there's something's going to be there forever and ever. You know, you can see me that I deleted for the one I created for Alex and Florence. So if you don't delete, it's going to be there permanently. Okay. Mr. Raymond, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask, is there any kind of maybe you have a kind of how can I say it? Some keywords that need to be just learned on the go to know all these terms and know where they fit in. It will help us along the way. So we won't just be knowing temporary table is made for this. Just GUI, this is it. But I mean, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay.
Just like acronyms and the keywords, so that someone can just be learning that on the go by the side.
So this is what I would do. If I want to generate an acronyms for you guys, it's going to be too lengthy. The best way for you to learn, download the ChatGPT on your computer or your phone, and just put Excel acronyms, Power BI acronyms, SQL acronyms. You'll be learning that and you'll be memorizing it. From there, you even have more questions to ask me. That's the best way.
Yes. Okay.
The AI is everyone's friend now. We have AI Copilot for Microsoft now, M365, and the AI is just out there. There is no way I will be able to put what I've learned over the years into your head in 4 months. It's not possible.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point.
So you guys have to probably
do
more and schedule one-on-one with me, then we can probably solve more problems together, because there is no way I can just put everything into your head in a single, probably in a day or in a period of 4 months. So once you do a research on your own and you read online, you consult Google, you probably use AI, then you come back and even come up with something worth discussing on. That's the way I will put it, because I don't want to be teaching myself. And I want to tell you something. The tool that I'm using presently now is even pretty much easier than writing all the SQL code. Alteryx is pretty very easy. It's a drag and drop, and the codes you're going to write in Alteryx is they are all lazy codes. But the good thing is that it's always very good for a data analyst to have a basic understanding of SQL. It's very, very important. So that is that. Please feel free to schedule one-on-one with me. Send me text, call me on WhatsApp. I'm free. If you have a Facebook, an iPhone, you can FaceTime. Everything is fine. I'm just a very open person. So
if anyone has got an interview too, let us know so that we can learn from your experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now that we are more into the class, maybe we can even create a time, like